They called him the chosen of the sun god, a pharaoh who believed he could reshape heaven itself. But on the day the earth burned, even the sun turned its face away. Fire rained from the sky. Temples collapsed. The sands themselves caught flame. This is the story of a man who defied the gods and lost everything. The day the earth burned, the lost city of Akhetaten. Egypt, 1353 years before Christ, the land of gold and gods, where pharaohs ruled as living deities and the temples of Amun reached toward the sky. But from this divine bloodline, one man rose, a man who rejected every god but one. His name was Amenhotep IV, but the world would remember him as Akhenaten, the heretic pharaoh. He would build a city for his God alone, a city that would shine brighter than any on earth. And in doing so, he would seal his own destruction. When Akhenaten took Egypt's throne, the old gods had ruled for 2,000 years. Amun, Osiris, Isis, Ra, a pantheon older than history itself. But Akhenaten looked to the blazing sun above and saw only one god, Aten, the disk of light that gave life to all things. He declared that Aten was not one among many, but the only god that truly existed. The priests of Amun were horrified. Their wealth, their power, their temples, all built on worship of the old gods, now faced extinction. Akhenaten ordered their statues broken, their names erased, their temples sealed in silence. To glorify Aten, he would create a new capital far from the reach of the old gods. He called it Akhetaten, the horizon of the sun, a city carved from the desert, built not for man, but for a god. The city rose in record time, a marvel of human ambition. Stone by stone, temple by temple, the sands were transformed into golden streets. Workers sang hymns to Aten as they toiled under the relentless sun. Each block of stone was polished until it gleamed like sunlight. Gardens bloomed with rare desert flowers, irrigated by clever canals. Every street and plaza reflected the sun's rays, winding to those who dared look directly. Within a few years, Akhetaten shone brighter than any other city in Egypt. Massive temples with no roofs, so that the light of Aten could flood every altar. Golden walls reflected the sunrise like mirrors. The pharaoh and his queen Nefertiti walked among their people, bathed in rays of divine fire. Markets bustled with merchants and artisans. Children ran through sunlit streets, laughing as priests chanted eternal hymns. Every stone, every carving, every golden disc told a story of Aten's glory. For a time, the city prospered. Music, art, and devotion filled its streets. And under the eternal sun, Akhenaten believed he had touched immortality. But not everyone rejoiced. The priests he had banished whispered curses in the dark. They said the pharaoh's obsession with Aten would doom Egypt, that no man could steal the power of the gods without consequence. Despite the warnings, Akhenaten pressed on. He built statues taller than any temple and commissioned carvings that portrayed himself as the earthly embodiment of the sun. He held festivals lasting days where dancers and musicians celebrated Aten's light. Citizens cheered, priests sang, and the city shone like a golden flame in the desert. But under the celebration, fear grew quietly. Some citizens spoke in hushed tones of strange omens: a sudden eclipse, the Nile running low, birds dying in the streets. But Akhenaten dismissed their fears, declaring all was part of Aten's will. Then came the signs the Pharaoh could not ignore. The Nile ran low, fields turned to dust, animals perished beneath an unending sun. The people begged Akhenaten to honor the old gods again, but he refused. He said Aten was testing their faith. The sky darkened. A great eclipse fell over Egypt. Day turned to night. The people trembled. Even the priests of Aten fell silent. And in that darkness, the first fires began to fall. Some said it was the breath of the sun. Others believed the heavens had opened in rage. But whatever it was, it marked the beginning of the end. Flames consumed the horizon. Temples cracked and melted. The city that worshipped the sun burned beneath its gaze. People screamed as the desert turned to fire. The Pharaoh stood on his balcony, watching his paradise collapse. He cried out to Aten, "Have I not honored you? Why have you forsaken me?" But the heavens gave no answer. The fire raged for days, scorching every street, every palace, every statue. Citizens hid in terror, trying to escape the consuming flames. Gold melted into rivers of molten light. Smoke turned the sky black. Ash rained down like snow in a burning world. When the fire finally faded, Akhetaten was silent. Thousands lay dead. The Pharaoh, the man who dared to challenge eternity, was gone. The few who survived fled to Thebes, and with them came the old gods. A boy king named Tutankhamun, perhaps Akhenaten's own son, restored the temples of Amun, Osiris, and Ra. He ordered the name of Akhenaten struck from every monument, his statues smashed, his city abandoned to the sands. For 3,000 years, no map, no scroll, no monument spoke his name. Akhetaten became a ghost city, a forbidden memory erased from the pages of time. In the 1800s, archaeologists digging near modern-day Amarna unearthed strange ruins. Houses lined like rays of sunlight, temples open to the sky, and carvings of a sun disk with reaching hands. Aten. They had found the lost city of Akhetaten, and with it, the name of its forgotten king, Akhenaten. To historians, he was a heretic. To believers, a prophet who saw a truth too dangerous for his time. Perhaps he was both, a man who stared too long into the light until it consumed him. He built a city for the sun, and the sun destroyed it. A dream that burned brighter than any before it and vanished in flame. This is the story they tried to erase. This is history they
Subscribe and join us as AI brings lost history back to life.